5472. Okay. Now, the first thing that I've run into that is common is 72. So the least common multiple, the LCM, is 72. Now, obviously, the numbers that we're going to have to find the LCM, it would not be practical to list the multiples to find the LCM. Okay? So, the other way that you can find the LCM, this was listing the multiples. Yeah. You're just counting by that number. Yeah, that's all multiples are. Is, in other words,
May I have your attention, please? This announcement is for elementary. I wanted to give elementary your updated totals and name the top 3 places so far in the food drive on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Now,
in a few minutes,
listing multiples. Okay, the other way to do it is by prime factorization.
Thank you.
Prime factoring for the LCM. Okay, now we look at those. I'm going to look at those same 2 numbers to show you, so you'll understand the difference between the 2. If I have 8 and 18, and I'm trying to find the LCM, okay, you prime factor them. So either inverted division or factor tree. It doesn't matter. You have 2, 4, 2, and 2. You have 3, 6, 3, 2. Okay, now, so I have 2 to the third, and then over here I have 2 times 3 to the second. Huh? Yes, factor tree would be exactly the same. The whole point is to prime factor and get to this point where you have 2 to the third and then 2 times 3 to the second. Okay, so the first step is prime factor both numbers using inverted division or factor tree. Okay, that's first step. Second step, list each prime number, prime factor that was used. Okay, so as we look at this prime factorization right here and here, what prime numbers were used? There's only 2 of them. Huh? What prime numbers were used? 2 and 3. So I list 2 times 3. Okay, that's this step right here. List each prime factor that was used. Step 3 is use the greatest power or exponent of each prime factor. Okay, so we have the 2 times 3. Okay, I have 2 to the third power, 2 to the first power, which is greater, 2 to the third or 2 to the first? 2 to the third. So I use 2 to the third. I have 3 to the second power, but no 3. So which is higher, 3 to the second power or no 3? 3 to the second would be higher. So I would use 3 to the second. Now, step 4 is to multiply the prime factorization from step 3 together. Okay, so That means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, times 3, which is 9. 8 times 9? 72. And this is your LCM. Okay. Now I'm going to do another example with all that, without all the writing and stuff. So I'm going to do one out of the book here. So let's look at the book. I'll be back. Hang on. 36 and 81. Okay. So we're going to find the LCM of 36 and 81. So we want to find the LCM of 36 and 81.
So we don't list like the factors?
No, I want you to do it prime factorization, because real honestly, most of the ones you're going to have, the numbers are going to be like 344, 288, 820. So for you to list it all out, it would take you forever. Okay? So here's what we've got. First step, prime factor 36 and 81. Once again, if you use the factor tree, it's the same thing. You're just trying to get to the prime factorization of each number. So that's 2, 18, 2, 9, 3, 3. So that's 2 to the second times 3 to the second. 81 is 3, 27, 3, 9, 3, 3. So that's 3 to the fourth power. Okay? So that was step 1. Okay? Step 2 is to list the prime numbers that were used. Prime numbers that were used were 2 and 3. Okay? Step 3 is to take 2 times 3 and find the highest exponent of each one. I have 2 to the second, but no 2. So I got to use it 2 to the second. I have 3 to the second, 3 to the fourth. So I've got to use it to the fourth power. Okay, now I take that and I say 2 times 2, which is 4, times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81. So I have 4 times 81. 4 times 81, 324. And that is step 4, right here. So the least common multiple is 324. So you can imagine going with 36 and listening 36, 72, all the way up to 324. You'd have to do it 9 times. Okay? Because 36 times 1 is 36. 36 times 2, 72. 36 times 3, 118, or 108. Okay? 36 times 4, 144. And so you'd have to do that all the way to 324. That's not practical. That would take way too much time. Okay? And so that's why we're doing it this way, using prime factorization. Okay? Just like we did on the greatest common factor. Okay? Now, anybody not understand any of those steps before I move to the next one? Anthony?
I don't really get where you put like those, like this.
The inverted division? That's where you can use inverted division or factor tree. If you were doing it factor tree, you could come down here and do this. 36 and 81. So you use factor tree, that would be 9 times 4. That would be 3 times 3. Those are both prime. That would be 2 times 2. Those are both prime. So you get 2 to the second times 3 to the second. You do 81, 9 times 9. Then that would be 3 times 3, that would be 3 times 3. And so that is 3 to the 4th. Okay? So either way, I don't care if you use inverted division or you use factor tree. You will see that we came up with the exact same thing with both of them. So whichever way you understand to do, then that's the way you need to do it. Okay? Do you understand the factor tree? Is that the way you usually do it? Okay. So yeah, you're just using the factor tree instead of I use inverted division. Okay? Now, let's see, let's do one that you have 3 numbers. So the LCM of 7, 20, quit making the noises. Well, if you're not doing it, then don't say anything. 7, 20, and 35. So step 1 is to prime factor them. So 7 is already prime, so I just bring it down. 20 is 2, 10, 2, and 5. So that's 2 to the second times 5. 35, we'll do factor tree on it, is 7 times 5. So 7 times 5. So, as we look at those 3 prime factorizations, here, here, and there, what are the prime numbers that were used? 7, 2, and 5, right? So 2 times 5 times 7. I have 7 to the first power, no 7, 7 to the first. So I have to use it to the first power. I have 2 to the second, no 2, no 2. So I got to use 2 to the second. I have 5 to the first, 5 to the first, no 5. So I got to use it 5 to the first. I can't really do anything about that. You just try to get it out. Hey, focus.
I know how to get it out. Take your shoe off.
Hey, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Now, I'm not saying you. I want you to, you're going to do, listen to me, you're going to do 4.4, 12 through 19. Okay? Don't come in without it. Okay? Because I'll be looking over it for a quiz grade. Okay? Just follow the steps that I did. A couple of them we already did. Okay? So that's what you've got to do tomorrow or for Monday, and we'll finish it up, the rest of it on Monday.